Hi, are you an author in the middle of self-publishing your next book? Somewhere along the process, you've probably heard about creating an audiobook. You've been encouraged to make an audiobook. You know friends who've made the investment in creating an audiobook, but you can't bring yourself to get started because getting into the technical weeds just seems too daunting. But what if we could take that all away? What if we could remove 90% of the technical barriers, so all you would have to do is show up to the microphone and record? Or maybe you don't want to record your own audiobook. That's totally fine too. We have an experienced team of professional narrators that would love to audition for your audiobook. Our Done For You service guarantees that you will have a professionally produced audiobook ready for commercial release. If you're ready to get started today, please click the link below and schedule a free call. We can't wait to hear from you and to get started on your project.
Hello. Welcome into an episode of Shine with Curiosity and Encouragement podcast. That was one of our sponsors, Audio Masters. As well as, we have to always say this out here, right, Susan? We've always got to say our other sponsor is Soul Sunshine.
Right, you can't leave us out.
Absolutely.
Soul Sunshine, the best book publishing company in the world.
There you go. Visit us at soulsunshine.com if you have a dream of becoming an author. Actually, let's go published author. Visit us at soulsunshine.com. How's it going, Susan?
Oh, it's going.
Awesome.
It's one of those months, you know, when it seems like there's too much to do and not enough days to do it in.
Absolutely. To all of our viewers and fans out there that celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. This is our last episode before Christmas comes, so we're going to do a little bit different. Our guest today is somebody that you guys have known and seen before, and she has written another children's book. So she's going to be joining us here, and she's also a really good friend. She's one of those people that you care about, and they care about you, and they make the world a better place. A lot like you, Susan. They're just being around them just makes you feel better and bring positivity and love and joy. That's what the Christmas season is all about, is that love and fulfillment and enjoying people's company. And it's not about the presents or the gifts or the Santa stuff, but we gotta feel good about that.
Yeah, and the reason for the season right there behind me.
There you go. The reason for the season right there behind you. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and bring on our friend, our returning friend as well, Odelia. Odelia, how's it going?
Hi.
How are you?
Excited. I'm good, thank you.
It's so good to see you again.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's great to have a second bite at the apple, as they say. Another opportunity to get to know you better.
Thanks.
Yes, and the reason why you got a second callback was because you released another book, didn't you?
Yeah.
Now this is your first children's book, correct?
Yes.
So, yes, you going into the children's book arena. The name of the story is
Ruby is scared.
Ruby is scared. Thank you. It has been such a crazy day today, and
I know. Yeah.
been all over the map, and the brain just kind of says, "Wait, you're still over here, but you're all of us back over there. So let's come bring it over here." Ruby is scared.
Mm-hmm.
So where did this idea come from?
Oh wow. So it actually came when we moved with my family, when we moved to Colorado in 2017. And it did start a little bit before, when we were still in Israel. And my son Erez, it was like three and a half, and he was super scared at night. And it was just screaming, and So when we moved here, it was actually even more. It wasn't scary, but it was weird and new, and um, we just I just grabbed Shani and Erez, and we just wrote that together. So
So it is a story near and dear to your heart, something that comes from your own personal
yeah,
experience, and
yeah.
something that kind of helped when it was needed to help, and you hope that it
Mhm.
helped other kids as well.
So did you live on a farm at the time?
No.
I wonder how did the
Okay.
farm motif come in?
Okay. So at first it was a bird, and it was in the kibbutz in Israel, and so it's a little community. I'm not sure how to explain in English, but anyway, it's a little community, and so when we moved here, we just thought about, oh, maybe a bird is not that. It's not a really good idea for for a story, for a book, and so we decided on a dog, and then the farm came. I don't know, actually, because we were looking for some friend to help the dog, and one of my friends in Israel, she has a horse, and from the horse we just moved to the,
Yeah,
we just, and then
yeah.
we said, okay, it's a farm. So
Well, it all fell together really nicely. It
yeah,
works out perfectly. It's a really cute story. I
yeah.
really love it. I got an extra copy of your book to give to my pastor's wife for her Sunday school class, and I haven't given it to her yet, but I will very soon. And I told her about it, so she's excited to get a
Uh,
copy. Yeah.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome.
yeah.
Um, so how long has it been out now? Wasn't you just released it? I think.
Just I don't, few weeks, I don't remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's been out maybe 2 weeks, I
Yeah.
would guess.
Or maybe a tiny bit more, but just, yeah, just
Yeah,
pretty new.
Uh,
I
yeah.
remember in the kibbutz we have so many animals, and someone, and it was just, I was playing with my friend, and we were just saying, okay, let's do this, let's do that. It was a game. It just turned to a game. So
yeah.
yeah, it
No,
was
I
a,
love it. I love it. And I kind of wanted to go off on a few of these things, a few topics that we're going to talk about today. And
okay.
um, one of the things I want to get your book out there as much as possible. So I want you to talk about it as much as you want. And
Thank you.
but I also want to have this a special show where it is that time of the year. It is that time of the season. It is that time of thanks and love and family and coming together and understanding, but it's also the ending of the year, so there's also the possibilities of New Year's, and all of that from a time of Thanksgiving to the time of New Year is just so filled with excitement, but also a lot of stress. So, how do you handle this time of year? Yeah,
Me?
yes.
Oh my goodness. I'm dreaming about big stuff I want to do next year.
Nice.
Like, I have that. I just came back from Paris, and it was really stressful to come back. I left my daughter there, and it's super hard. And so when I came back, I was really stressed, and I just decided to dream big about next year. I'm going to do some stuff in Paris, and I just remind myself it's just the middle of the story,
Mhm.
not
Yeah,
the end. And we're
yeah.
just middle yet, it's just the middle. So we have long, amazing stuff ahead of us.
Absolutely.
How, uh, how, what's the possibility of getting another book? Have you thought of that?
Me, of course, I
Yeah.
already have few of them ready.
Oh, that's great.
It was funny because actually, so the first one, when I published the first one, so my kids, Shani and Erez, they came to me and said, "Mom, what about our book? You publish your book, but what about our book we did together?"
Uh-huh.
And they remember until today that it was Shani say to Erez, "It was because of you, because you were scared."
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's
and
great.
he wasn't the only one to be scared, actually, but so it's for them mostly, and it was also a birthday gift for me, uh, because I actually, when I was 10 years old, I started writing children books, and
Oh,
yeah, and so it was my dream to be actually a children book author. So
uh-huh. Well, you are fulfilling that dream. That's
yeah,
fantastic.
but I have more. I have more. Don't worry, I'm ready
I
for
look
more.
forward to that.
Very nice. That brings me to my next. You did go to Paris, and um, you're you're are you from Paris or you're
Yes.
so you're from Paris? So it's like going home.
Yes.
When was the last time you were in Paris prior to just this recent?
Ooh, 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 ooh. Wow. Ooh. So I met my husband Sharon, my second husband Sharon, when like 16 years ago. So we went for one day, or yeah, we went there for a super short uh day. But before that, oh my goodness, I think that when I was in 1995. So
Wow.
Uh-huh.
So
Thank God.
so how was this homecoming for you at Paris? I saw the pictures; they were amazing. You saw some cool stuff, man.
yeah, thank you. It's what it was really amazing. It's like a transformation. Like
Mhm.
it's I speak without thinking too much how to translate. How do you say that in English? How do you say that here?
Uh-huh.
I'm not afraid to be saying something wrong. I understand little, I understand
Uh-huh.
everything. It's my home. It's where I grew up. So
Yeah.
I know everything. Even so, a lot of stuff changed. I'm like, oh wow! I showed that all that to my daughter, and it was amazing. I was like, look, this is the bench I was spending all my Sunday in front of that picture. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. Paris is such a beautiful city. And it is so oh beautiful, and that it has so many picturesque scenes. It's really fun to take a camera when you go
yeah,
because you can just get so many beautiful pictures.
yeah. And to see my daughter, because she is also she's an artist, and when we went there and we just get into a room with big painting, we
Mhm.
both of us start crying. Like I'm like, oh my god! So it's
Yeah.
like, and yeah. So it's just being me, or
Mhm.
I don't know, I don't know. So
No, no, it makes total sense of what you're saying, and it's like to give kind of an analogy on it. It would be like a fish going to a different pond, making a name for themselves in a different pond, but then going back to the pond that they're originally from, and it just feels like home. No, I totally get it.
I think you started another children's book there, Stephen.
excuse me. It's
you
time. No,
can,
That's a
hey,
great plot.
you know what? You know what? You are the one that would be better in
I'm
writing that
kidding. I
because
know.
that is your
Yeah.
story right
Next
there.
Just
next
kidding.
character is a fish.
A
Fish
fish.
out of yeah.
No, actually, I think that Stephen, you're welcome to do it. I'm like,
Oh, who knows? Maybe.
I love to write because it gives me that freedom of that, like I can dream, I can create,
Yes.
I can
Uh-huh.
Oh
You
my
can
God.
live in another world temporarily.
Yes, yes,
That's
yes.
what it's like. You can create this world and then you can go live in it whenever you
Yeah.
want to. You just, pick up your pen or turn on the computer and you're back there again.
It's
And
amazing.
yeah, that's one reason I really enjoy publishing is because I get to do that with other people's books too. I get to go live in their worlds and
Oh,
and get
wow.
to see what their world is like. And it's just been so much fun. I just really enjoyed it.
Hmm. I think next year I will publish the first one I ever wrote when I was 10. And so I don't have the original before 40 years ago.
Uh-huh.
My mom
Yeah.
just put her anyway.
Oh,
It's okay. I also did a drawing and it was really bad. And but I did remember, so it's ready, or just I need just the illustration and all kind of stuff, but it will be
oh,
for next year. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I remember writing this story. I was probably in third grade when I wrote my first story book. I don't know, I guess you could call it almost a book, but it was about a puppy named Homesick.
Oh.
Yeah, and so the puppy was homesick, and the last line was, and homesick was homesick no more because he
Oh.
got to go home.
No, mine was about a boy who felt really different because his hair color and
Mhm.
yeah, it was. I remember. I don't remember exactly the last sentence, like you, Susan. the,
That's all I remember.
the end. I remember the end. No, I'm kidding. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's that's the best part about being an author, though, is that
what?
you can paint whatever world you want to paint, and
Yeah.
uh, you can put your emotions into it. You can put your stories into it. You can put things that you want to have happen. You can put things that will never happen, or you can put things in that will, you know, scientifically speaking, are impossible.
Or
But
maybe, or maybe it's even the opposite. You can put there stuff that happened and that no one wants to talk about.
that's true. Absolutely true.
Like
Um,
for me, it was that case of feeling weird and different
Hmm.
and dreaming too big and having too much imagination, and so that was the perfect place because as I said before, the paper wasn't saying, oh my gosh, you have too much imagination, you don't. I never have a paper telling me like, oh no, it's so bad, it's too much. So,
Yeah,
I
right.
don't know who said it, but somebody somewhere at one point in time said youth is wasted on the young.
Uh-huh. Yes, I have heard that.
It
Yes,
is,
it
because
is. It is.
when we're young, we don't understand. We don't realize that the decisions we're making, or the feelings that we're feeling, or what we're growing into is going to affect the rest of our life, because we're young, we're dumb, we don't care, we're invincible, we're
We have
uneducated.
lots of energy.
Yes, tons of energy.
Yes.
And as we grow and as we gain experience and as we get more to what the world is getting into and what we want to write about and who we want to be, yeah, exactly. The energy. We lose out on that energy of like, oh my goodness, I'm so tired right now, or I've got all this stuff over here that I have to do before I can do the stuff that I
Mhm.
want to do. And then
Yeah.
you start feeling overwhelmed and you start feeling stressed out. And yeah, youth is definitely wasted on the young for sure.
Absolutely.
I think that for me, it's actually giving that space to say what it's like. People are not talking anymore.
Hmm.
Like an opportunity to open up conversation and stuff. Like,
You mean falling out with old friends, or at one point in time you were friends and then you don't talk to them anymore and you move away from them? Reopening up that conversation. Is that what you mean?
no, I'm saying to writing books or helping other people to write a book for me is that opportunity to talk about stuff that no one wants to talk about anymore,
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
you know. So
Well, that's the other aspect of books that I find so fascinating. Is it's not just. I mean, there are literally hundreds of different genres out there that you can do. There's self-help books. There's books that will
Mhm.
help you um, make money. There's books out there that will help you learn a skill. There's books out there
Mhm.
that are, um, you know, get lost in
Cookbooks.
cookbooks. There's books that you can get lost in fairy tales. There's books that you can write that's somebody's life on paper. There's so many different genres and so many different books that you can create your world and other people can experience that world, but they can also, what you said is the hardest thing to write is that what you don't want to talk about. But when you can just open up and put so much more out there.
Mhm.
yeah, and you know what? Sometimes it's taking risk because wow, it's like, yes, talking and writing about stuff that no one wants to talk about, but we need to talk about, and sometimes we are taking risks on writing about that. So
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, writers have always been right on the cutting edge of society.
absolutely.
As they say, the pen is mightier than the sword. So, I mean, Shakespeare, in his day, he certainly took some risks in what he wrote. But I mean, and it's the same thing today. Writers are still out there and taking risks and kind of living on the edge,
Mhm.
experimenting, with all different things, with genres and characters and settings and time. I love some of the science fiction um, novels that people come up with, things you would never really think of. And I've always thought it would be really fun to write science fiction.
I want to try, Susan.
Yeah,
Seriously.
I would like to also, really
Yeah,
seriously. Cool.
sounds good.
Yeah,
Let's do
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's just so much fun because you can create your own world. I mean, just think
Even
about
more.
it. You can
Yeah,
create
even
your own rules. The rules of this world are gravity it does not keep you to the ground. For example, I mean, you could really go places with a whole different science fiction world.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Can be anything you want.
Well, and time isn't linear in science
Right.
fiction. Time can be whatever you
Yeah,
want. It could be
Guys,
set
exactly.
way in the future. It could be set way in the
Oh,
past.
time can be down the hall in another room. It could be another time. I mean, yeah, you can come up with all kinds of concepts.
oh, I'm living that way anyway, so it's good. I'm like, I don't understand time. I have gravity barely take me down. I'm good. I'm all good. I don't live in your world, guys. I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
like, but yeah, have fun. Now, what I want to say is that so I wrote few more books, and one of them, my editor it was back then in Israel, and
Yeah.
I told him, okay, it's about me, it's my life, it's a memoir, but
Uh-huh.
there are some stuff I just made up. Okay, I just created because I thought the story needed, like the manuscript needed, and so he asked me where. I'm like, you need to guess. So he, he was reading the book and he never guessed. And when I told him, he said, "Oh my God, that was so good. You should be writing fiction." I'm like, okay. So,
Yeah.
I need, yeah.
Oh, that's yeah,
Why
right.
not? Why not? Why not?
Yeah. Writing a memoir is a lot like writing fiction. Only your plot's already there for you, and the characters and all of that, that's all been
Yeah,
decided. You,
absolutely.
you just have to put in all the action.
But I think that in a way, to have all the character and everything and setting and everything, in a way, it's easy. But for me, it's like processing all what Stephen, you were talking about, that, where we were young and we went through so much, but we didn't know, and we had a lot of energy, but not so much brain. So we just move on, move on, move on. And to do that for me was going back and already having the character and the setting, but actually dealing with all that and taking the time to deal with all that. And I think it's super
Mhm.
important to have that opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And
I think so too.
the other part of us being authors is that we'll get this story in our mind and it will just start to plug at us and we'll start to like think about it more and it'll start to become that itch.
Yeah.
If we don't get that itch out, then it's going to start to bother us and we're going to start to like not be able to focus on other things. So you just got to get it out, get it out. And you run the Legacy Writing Guide, and that was one of the things that you and I had talked about was that you just got to get it out. It's not going to be perfect to start. It's not going to be this like beautifully well written, well planned out, best selling, change the world novel right when you first think about it. It's going to take time, but if you don't
Mhm.
give yourself that chance to just get it out, it's going to bother you. It's going to, yeah.
Mhm.
Now, for me,
Yeah.
it's the most important, and it's like to really help with people who want to write and they are
Mhm.
scared and they don't know what to do. But it's really,
Right.
really at the beginning of the process, and I think it's really important to have that space of, okay, you're good, let's do it together, and
Mhm.
it's more of um, really helping and have more people writing books. But again, we have that problem of, not a problem, but of a good book or a really bad book.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No,
We
Right.
talk about that.
exactly. And one of the things we talked about again was that there are people out there who are writing these books, but they're not very good. And they figure out how to do the whole publishing aspect of it on self-publishing. And they'll use like AI tools, but they won't ever actually read the book. They'll just put it out there and think that they wrote this greatest book, but then you start to read it and you're like, this is crap. How did you even get this published?
Yeah.
And but they think it's like the greatest book that was ever written, and you don't have the heart to tell them that. But in the same token, the people who, or what we were saying is that because that makes money, because these people have like millions of followers, and their followers will all buy the book, even if it's crap, because they tell them to buy the book. So they make a whole bunch of money on it. So the publishers are like, where do we do? Do we put out crap stuff and make a whole bunch of money, or do we put out something good and have it be what we're wanting to put
No.
out?
No,
I
we don't. No, we
I
don't. We never put out crap. That's not never would never be my goal.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what I want to ask Susan, actually, because I'm not a publisher. I'm just helping people to start writing, and it's
Mhm.
just basic,
Yeah.
just the beginning of the process.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it's really depending on who you are as a person
Mhm.
and what you
Yeah.
believe. Um, I have a really specific way, or really specific way of helping people to write, and it's not for everyone. But
Right.
sometimes I have people who are really bad at writing, but I'm like, it's amazing. It's super good because I have to,
Yeah.
I don't want to
Yes.
be mean.
Y-
And some
Right.
have people who are amazing at writing and
Yeah.
just need me for 1 minute, and then I'm like, okay,
Uh-huh.
but
But what you're doing is the right way. You need to encourage people in the beginning, and help them as much as you can with corrections or revisions. But, you know, encouragement is really the main support, and encouragement is what they need in the beginning. And then eventually they need to get used to the idea that there's an editor involved somewhere
absolutely.
along the line. That needs to happen.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. That's what
And
I'm saying
but
to everyone.
a lot of times people need to write, if they're writing, especially if it's a memoir, they need to write first of all to process what happened to them, and
Absolutely.
that isn't necessarily going to be good writing or
That's
anything that could be
yeah.
published.
No, and
It needs
mine
to,
was sorry.
yeah, it certainly depends on the writer for sure.
No, but
But yeah, so, but I mean, I've gotten in some, I haven't gotten in any really terrible memoirs. Nobody's given me any terrible ones. But if I got a terrible one, I would certainly work with them and try to help them, improve. Um, I don't, we don't, in Full Sunshine doesn't just publish stuff because somebody gave us something to publish. It has to pass certain standards, or I just couldn't do it. I just, it would go against my 5-year-old's love of books, to the point where I used to practically live at the library, and I can't let that little 5-year-old girl down by publishing crap. So, I'm being true to myself. I value books. I value books that are well written,
Ab- ab-
books that mean something.
Absolutely. And
That's
unfortunately, we're in a day and age right now where it is being diluted by people who feel entitled to just say they wrote a book, and you're like,
yeah,
hmm,
right. And then
reading.
it's left up to the readers to try to sort through all of that.
Yeah. What were you going to say,
we
Delia?
have, but no, I want to say that I'm really doing what I'm doing to just be there to give that space. But after that, we are working with editor, publisher, and
Mhm.
I'm really clear on that. We have two parts. First part, let's start, and second part, okay, now we need an editor, a publisher, and everything to get
Right.
a book like a good
Mhm.
book. And but we also have different readers, and
Uh-huh.
this is also really important to understand because not everyone wants
Mhm.
to read the same. So
Right. Yes. And that's really important for you to teach when you're teaching them, of course, is that they need to write to their audience, not somebody else's audience.
yeah,
And those are not going to necessarily be the same.
yeah,
That everyone's book is not geared towards the same audience.
Absolutely.
So,
The other hard part about it is that um, what do you call that? Where you can pay attention for longer.
attention span.
Attention span. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. The attention span in the digital world is just not there anymore. There are not too many people who are going to sit down and read Grapes of Wrath, Of Mice and Men, To Kill a Mockingbird, these classic
Mhm.
books, Moby Dick, that are but are huge. There are many, many pages written. They want meme culture. They want to read the information, accept it in 3 seconds or less, and move on with their day.
But
And
there are others that are not like that. There are people still who want to read
yeah. Thank you,
books, and some people who want to read long books. I
thank
mean,
you.
I have been in groups, like Facebook groups, where their minimum length is like 150,000 words. They're not going to read anything for less, that has fewer, because they want to really get into the meat of a book that's, got a lot to it. And I give them credit for being able to stick with it that long. I
I
have read some long books too, but like historical novels, for
I
example,
love historical
sometimes can
novels.
be.
Oh my
I
goodness.
do too, and those can be long, and I love those. So it all depends, on what it is, and how interesting can you keep the book? How long can you keep your readers
Absolutely.
interested?
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's all about that. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, yeah, my first manuscript also was really bad. you know, it
Was
was
there ever a
so
first
bad.
manuscript that was good?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So, and here we are. And my first book now is really, really amazing. I'm super happy. So,
Uh-huh.
and when you finish the first one, you want more. So you're
Yeah.
doing a children book and then you do more. And yeah, I think it's
Mhm.
just the first few steps you need that someone
Yeah.
to be there for you.
Somebody to hold your hand through that early part of the process.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you're doing them all a really good favor to work with them, and that's
Thanks.
just what's needed. Um, I'm working with one author right now he came to me with his book kind of really mapped out in his head. He didn't have a lot written. He had some of it written, but not a lot. So I've been working with him. This is probably the earliest stage of any author that I've ever worked with. Um, but he does require a lot of encouragement and motivation and, assistance. So that's a really worthwhile, being a book coach like you are is a very worthwhile occupation, and it's really needed. There are people who will eventually become really great authors
Yes,
because they had a great book coach in the
I
beginning.
I agree. Yeah, thank you.
And I just want to let all of our viewers and fans know out there, this is gold right now. This is off script. This is three people who have written books, a publisher, a book coach, and somebody who is so full of themselves right now at me, um, that you guys are learning a whole bunch.
Yeah, yeah,
So
I
pay
think it's very
attention,
valuable.
pay
Mhm.
attention, take notes, enjoy it because it is a ride. It is a journey. It is vulnerability, being able to put yourself into words, into a book, and then putting
Mhm.
it out there, and then hoping that it resonates with at least one or two people besides yourself. Because as an author, we do put our entire selves into these books. We put, the saying is our blood, our sweat, and our tears into it. But it is so true because there are moments there when you're just like, I don't know what to say, or I don't know how this is supposed to look, or I don't know how it's supposed to feel. And then
Mhm.
you try to go raw, but then raw doesn't make sense. And you try to go exquisite, and exquisite doesn't make sense. And you find somewhere in the middle right there, and you're satisfied with it. And
Yeah, and it can be hard to let other people see your work too. Because you are afraid of criticism, and then you're afraid of letting your raw self, your authentic self be seen. So those kinds of things are very real for people, some more than others. But we're certainly sensitive to all of those kinds of emotions, and we've been there ourselves, as we've been through our own author journeys.
absolutely.
When
What, yeah, go ahead, Lily.
when I'm sending my manuscript to an editor, I'm becoming a gremlins, like a master, like the little master. I'm like, I'm like, don't talk to me, don't look at me.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, this is so bad, guys. You don't want to see me.
yeah. Hey, any of you people out there that are listening that can identify with any of this stuff, be sure and put it in the comments. We would love to hear from you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, I want to go back to what you were saying about criticism. And
Why? Why?
we,
Nothing.
well, because one thing we have to teach is we have to accept criticism.
Yeah.
What we're writing is not going to be perfect.
Mhm.
It is your first draft. It is your second draft, and some people don't even get it perfect until like the 50th or 60th draft, where it's finally
Yeah. Me. I published my book 3 times before I got it right.
I know, me
And
too.
and I yeah, and I've got to tell you that you need to be able to take criticism. And my first book, I had some bad reviews, and I mean, I there were two ways to take that. I can either get mad about it and call them stupid and just ignore them, or look at it, read it, and see if they had a point. And by golly, they had a point. So I went back and rewrote parts of my book because they were right. There were parts of it that just weren't right, and there were parts of it, and the book needed a different angle, and the book needed to be shortened, and it needed work. And I self-published, so I mean, it was all, I didn't have anybody else to tell me anything. I had an editor, but she didn't really tell me that, the book wasn't really ready to be published. She didn't, I don't think, give me enough criticism of the book. She was too kind. But that's why I ended up having to do it 3 times because, each time it got better. And then I wasn't satisfied with the second rewrite, had to rewrite it the third time. And, so that was the charm. The third book I'm happy with. It hit bestseller. It's won some awards. I feel okay about it. But you have to stick with it. You cannot just crumble in the face of a bad review or someone's critique. You have to hang in there. But if they don't have a point, then do just ignore it. But you have to be able to evaluate that yourself, and evaluate it honestly. Really, really thinking about it carefully. I think that's so important.
But I think that's why it's really important to find the right editor for you.
Hmm.
And for
Yes.
me, the first time I chose an editor and it was not the right one for me, but I was like, okay, never mind, I will go with it. But it was not good. And so
Yeah.
I did it again. And so for me, it was really hard because it was in Hebrew and we translate.
Oh,
And
oh.
and it was supposed to be for a total different audience in Israel. And so
Mhm.
we stay here. And so we are like a translate. And so it's really different. And for me, it was like more to be for the reader here in
Uh-huh.
it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that would definitely be challenging.
yeah.
Well, Stephen, you got any more questions in there?
that
Steven,
was. I'm back. That
I'm
was
back.
weird.
I'm back. I was bestseller too, and I did get how do you say that? Award books or whatever.
Award, uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, it's a good feeling. I
Yeah,
mean, sure, it's not like, winning an Academy Award or anything or a Pulitzer Prize,
maybe
but
next.
but but it is nice to see that you are getting some acknowledgement, for what you do, and that's a good feeling. But I I'm really happy always when, my authors that we publish get awards or hit the bestseller list as well. So, then I get to be overjoyed again for that reason. So it's just really great,
This
to have
amazing.
authors that are also very talented.
Yeah,
Well,
so amazing.
one of the things I like to talk about with Susan and I is that when Susan found me, I was at rock bottom. I was at miserable. I don't want to go on. I don't want to do any of this, but I think I have something here. And I was a lot of people know the story already, and everybody who knows me knows the story. So, but when Susan and I came together, my book was what, your third book published as a publisher, or
Maybe the fifth book,
fifth
maybe.
book? Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. It
And
was one of the early ones.
now we're at what with Soul Sunshine?
We're at 25 or so. We've got another set that will be publishing soon. We'll be hitting 30 soon. Uh-huh.
Nice.
And just to see that when you find the right person and you start to build up and you start to attract more people, then going back to what we were talking about, there's people out there who are publishing just crap books just to try and get sales on them or to try and get notoriety of it. But all the books that Soul Sunshine has published and all the books that we've worked on together, they're great books.
Yeah.
And they're very well written and they're very well um, messages on there, and they're all different
Hmm.
genres. They're all different everything, but as authors, that's exactly what we gear ourselves to. Is that we don't want to just be the I have a book that's on somebody's bookshelf that nobody's ever read. Where the my book has been read 30,000 times. The cover is fallen off a little bit, and there's love in there, and that's the books that we all want to read.
Yeah. And I've also had the opportunity to republish a couple of books because authors have come to, and they've realized that it is not the best quality. And so I've been able to go in and edit the book or get it re-illustrated with new illustrations, whatever it needs, and turn it around and get it republished. So that's been very enjoyable to do, to see, to look at it and see the difference and the difference in the quality and just everything. So that always gives me a good feeling to know that I'm able to make an improvement like that, that people are happy about.
So, Odelia, you talked and said you want to make the next year your biggest year yet. What does that mean to you, your biggest year yet?
Uh, um, I want to travel a lot, mostly in France, Italy.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, writing retreat and all kind of stuff with
Mhm.
my.
Yeah, and you talked about a writing retreat in Paris. That
Yes.
sounds wonderful. So anybody out there, if you're interested in going to Paris and writing your book,
I
I
was,
can't think of anything that would
I
be
was,
more fun
I
than
was,
that.
oh God, I was just about to bring that up, man. I saw your post
Yeah.
on that and was like, I kind of want to go right in Paris for.
Oh my gosh, I would go in a heartbeat.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
One of them is that I'm also a speaker, and I'm talking about my story and a lot of stuff. So yeah, to go and to do that in French, it will be
Yeah.
amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Uh, or maybe back, I don't know where, but all the languages I know the one I feel more comfortable to go in, just all
Mhm.
around the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
That's
sounds
great.
awesome. That sounds awesome.
And of course publishing more books because they are already waiting for me, so
Yep.
There you go.
Right.
I need
There
to
you go.
write more books, seriously, guys.
Well, you also have your
Mhm.
writers group, so you've
Yeah, I have
got
so
you've
much
got
group actually.
you've got people, and you're inspiring people in there, and you're helping people, and you want to build that up. I know that that has a special place in your heart, and you want to do more with that. Um, you said you want to write more books. Do you want to go to a different genre? Do you want to stay in the children's book genre? Do you want to do something different?
I did already some different stuff, and I did another memoir, so it's not different, another children book, but I did self help, or how do you
Mhm.
say that? Yeah, self
Mhm.
help, a guide or whatever.
Mhm.
And it's really amazing. And I did a book with an anthology, no, like when with a lot of people about adoption,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
about adoption, and we did. I did so many stuff. But yes, I would love to try to do fiction or science. I don't know, fiction maybe. I don't.
I think science fiction would be fun. I would really have to practice at doing that though, because I've never really done it. I've written a couple of stories that were science fiction,
Oh
and
really?
they
And
were fun, but never tried a book. Yeah.
I actually so I have a book club, and at that book club we I had the opportunity to read a how do you say that, science fiction, and
Uh-huh.
so it was amazing, and I'm like, oh wow, I
Yeah.
would love to do that. So yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I can think of so many interesting ideas to explore, you know. So I really enjoy physics. It's a
Okay.
subject I like. And there are so many interesting things about the universe that are so fascinating. And you know that you can take that and really run with it if you're doing science fiction,
You need to
because
start.
sometimes physics seems like science fiction. You know, some of the things that are true in physics, like you ever heard of spooky action at a distance, where you know there it was an Einstein theory where you can take an element that's related and move it a distance, and if you do something to the original element, that the our particle at a distance will react to it. So it's like, wow, that is unbelievable. And I'm not explaining it correctly. I apologize to all you physicists out there.
They're like,
well,
But it's a cool idea.
it goes along the points of like twins, where twins, identical twins, will sometimes something will happen to one and the other one will feel it, even though they're
Yeah,
not in the same
yeah,
area and are not
right.
even in the same part of the world, but
Hmm.
because they were both from the original same particle,
Uh-huh. The
they can
same
feel
egg.
each
Yeah.
other. Yeah, they could feel each other
And
at a
that's
distance.
bizarre, but I mean, you know, there are all kinds of interesting things that, like I said, could be explored and could become, you could really
Susan,
create an interesting plot out of them.
I think you need to start tonight.
Yes, and that's
You
the one I'll start with. And the whole idea of, you know, the magnetic influences of that are in the earth. You know, there is a magnetic field in the earth. Well, my theory is that that's how these things travel. This kind of communication that can't travel any other way. It travels through the Earth's magnetic field. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm just making up stuff, but I
Yeah,
don't know.
You're an author,
you're giving stuff away right now.
but you,
Keep that to yourself
yeah,
and let it out
Yeah, you
later.
mean I should keep it? Yeah, for my next book, right?
yeah. Like, for me, it was like super hard to go back to like a children book, because I was used to write like 80,000 or a lot of,
Uh-huh.
to go
Yeah,
back to like 1,000, even less. I'm like, how do you
yeah,
do that?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
so
That's
hard,
not a lot. Uh-huh.
really
So,
hard to do.
in wrapping
But if
everything
I'm
up,
doing it, you can do it too. So,
do you?
Yeah. You're gonna end this. We're having so much fun here. Hey, Stephen.
Steven, what's the next question? Do you have a next question?
yeah, I just we're coming to the end here, and I just want to see. Do you have any traditions that you do during this time of year that you haven't done yet, or there's coming up, or I know Christmas is just a few days away, and Hanukkah is a few days away, and there's a lot of traditions and stuff like that. Is there anything that you do in particular?
No,
You
just
said you did them all earlier. I was hoping to
I'm
get that on
I'm
camera
doing
right
it.
there.
Okay, so I'm doing it, but I'm doing it my way.
There you go.
My way is really not the traditional way. I'm
Uh-huh.
more about. It's really important for me in that season time of to be like more. Uh, how do you say that? Giving back. and
Uh-huh.
um, you know,
That's wonderful.
more of taking care of people, of other people, and
Mhm.
helping, and volunteering, and serving, and for me that's the most
Nice.
important. And we are just, or I just want my French cake, bûche de Noël, and that's what I
Nice.
get. My bûche de Noël is, I'm going to pick it up tomorrow from a French bakery, and we
Uh-huh.
are just watching movies and eating a lot of crap. No,
Of course, you have
It's
to.
okay to eat crap during this time of year. It's
okay.
fine.
So
That
we
sounds
are eating a
wonderful.
lot of
I've
sugar,
always wanted to try one of those cakes. That sounds like fun. Yeah.
and we are just watching movies, and it's every year the same movie, and it's my son Erez is like Home Alone 2, and every year, so we are just together as a family.
Mhm.
And this year my daughter is not here, so it's a little bit sad.
Yeah.
And, and
She's
I'm
in Paris, right?
and
Yeah.
I'm buying them just a little something for
Mhm.
just a kid, not me and my husband. We are just for the kid, so I just bought a little something.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
my son Ares, he decided doesn't need anything, and I can buy. Um, it's so amazing. He told me, "Mom, you are always buying me stuff. Everything I need, I already have." And with the money for him, I can just buy something else for someone who has not, something.
Oh,
Aw,
that's really sweet.
So I just think for me this is Christmas.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
Hanukkah.
exactly.
For Hanukkah, I have the candles, and we
Uh-huh.
are playing with the dreidels, and I'm
Yeah.
making some latkes,
Lacus, yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and but we are not doing that the 8 days.
Oh,
We are making one day,
yeah. One day of Hanukkah.
and
But
that's
Yeah.
like the lighting of the candles we are doing every
Mhm.
night. The
Yeah.
latkes and the donuts and every crazy sugar, more sugar,
nice.
just one day,
Yeah.
one night, and
Very
it's a
nice.
one present for
Mhm.
everything.
Right. Right.
Very
Yeah.
I'm
nice.
not.
Yeah.
I'm
Because
not
is it
talking to
usually
say.
one present per day? Uh, or how does that work? Yeah. No.
It's one present for Christmas and one present for Hanukkah.
Okay.
And they know we are not going crazy
Yeah.
because we are super blessed. Really, for me, it's a time to be thankful. I know it's not Thanksgiving anymore, but for me, it's really that time of here when I'm super grateful and thankful because I can actually buy what I want when I want. Most of them,
Yeah.
all of them. Okay, I'm not talking about Ferrari right now,
Yeah.
but
Right.
oh, there are a lot of stuff I cannot do, but I really want to concentrate and look at what I can do. And
Mhm.
my kids are super grateful, but they say, "Oh, whenever we need something, and you're just buying it." So I'm super grateful to be able to do that. When I want to do something, I just do it.
Mhm.
So for Christmas, it's more of giving and giving back. So
Yeah.
I'm
That's
going
really
to try.
beautiful.
Thank you.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And you really are an amazing person.
Thank you.
Hmm.
You
Don't
have
make me
this.
cry again, Steven, please.
Oh, I plan on it. I'm
I
gonna
know
go
I'm
off on
already.
here right now. No, but you really are. You really are.
Thank you.
You have touched my heart, and you've touched my soul, and you have shown me that this world has angels on earth.
Oh my goodness.
And one thing for me that I've noticed is that I have surrounded myself with people who are genuinely good people, and they want good things for the world. They're not
Hmm.
selfish. Um, they're not trying to bring negative or bad things. And the one thing that all of us have is that we have our own struggles, and we have our own moments where it feels overwhelming and it
Yeah.
feels like difficult to move forward. But then
Mhm.
someone comes along and says, "It's okay. Let me help. Um, you don't need to go through this alone. You don't have to feel this way, or let your emotions out and let's grow." And then we look forward to the future. And
Mhm.
you are one of those special people in this world,
Thank
and
you.
I appreciate you and everything that you do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, I second that. I know you're a very special person.
Thank you. I'm going to cry. Seriously, no. Thank you so much. No, it's really from, really, really from. Yeah, it's really. I don't know what to say. Sorry. Like, okay, we're done today. Um, yeah,
No,
it's
Okay.
just I think it's important to have that because I know that I can also have my moments, and I know I can ask for help as well. So we all have that moments where we are like, okay, I need a friend now. I need,
Mhm. We all, yeah,
yeah,
we all do. We all
yeah.
do need friends.
It's not just like I'd never have that message like to Steven. Oh my god,
well, and that's what's so cool about you and me is that it's one of those understandable relationships where you know
yeah.
we understand each other, and it is so cool. And it's just you've enhanced my life, and I appreciate that so much. From
Thank you.
oh, all
Oh
right,
my goodness. Yeah.
I'm getting
Let's talk
choked up
about that.
myself. So
Yeah.
I
Let's
guess I'm going to have to wrap this show up then.
yes.
You guys are all choked up.
I didn't know
Okay.
it was going. No, seriously, I didn't know it was going to say all that. So thank you so much. I don't know. I really. I'm. Susan, say something.
Yes.
Do
Well,
something.
I am very happy that all of you who have joined us have stuck with us through this entire episode because I think you've gotten a lot out of it. I think this is one of our best episodes yet. Yeah, really. And thank you, Odelia, because you're a part of it. So we
Thank
really appreciate what you've contributed to this great episode.
thank you.
And this is the beginning of our second season. Really, we're just kicking it off, and we're going to be having more fantastic guests like you on, and we'll continue to talk more about books because that's what we all like to talk about. That's what we all love, and so that's our topic and our subject and our close to our hearts.
Susan, can I show my book?
yes,
Oh, please
please,
do. I was going to ask
absolutely.
you if
I
you
brought it
if
Double
you
here,
have. Yes, perfect. Yes, Ruby is scared.
and
I know.
we
She
took
just
it.
makes you want to hug her. I just want to hug her and give her kisses because she's scared. It's just the cutest book. It really is. It's great. Any of you who have children out there, get her book because it's great. It's especially good if you have any children that are ever scared, and that's just about every child.
yeah, exactly.
So, it's a good one.
Not just
Exactly.
child. Yes.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
To all of our family, friends, fans, cohorts, people who are having curiosity and need some encouragement, I want to wish everybody out there a very happy and Merry Christmas, a very happy holidays if you don't celebrate Christmas but celebrate something this season. I hope that your heart is filled with warmth and happiness and love, and your cup is filled with just everything that this season is. Odelia, thank you for coming on to
Thank
Shine
you.
with Curiosity and Encouragement today. We
Thank
love
you.
having you on. Thank you for being an amazing friend and everything that you've done.
Thank you.
And you have yourself a very Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
And a
thank you.
very happy
Yes.
Hanukkah.
Merry Christmas.
And to all a good night.
Yes, I'm going to reveal that here in just a little bit, but
Yeah.
stay in the lobby here for a few minutes, and we'll wrap this up and talk. Thank you, Odelia. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow.
That was
Wow,
great.
wow, wow. Yeah.
Wasn't that fun?
The more that we do this, the more I absolutely love it. Just being able to get stories out there and being able to show people real and being able to just put together and show what this part of the season really is supposed to be about.
Mhm.
Odelia is awesome.
Yeah.
She's one of the special people on the planet.
Yeah, she really is. She's really, really is.
Yeah, so
And
thankful
so you tell me about the story, Merry Christmas to all and to all a good night.
for her. So I've been working on "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" with curiosity and encouragement, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to draw all the pictures that I wanted to draw on it. So what I'm going to do is, sometime in the next couple of days, I'm going to release the entire poem. It is "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," but it has been edited to include curiosity and encouragement.
And that will be posted on YouTube.
It'll be on YouTube. It'll be on Facebook. It'll be on Instagram. And if you can't see any of it, let me know. I'll send it to you personally.
Great.
It will be my voice reading the poem, along with a video that accompanies it with some music going on in the background. And on Christmas Eve, to anybody who wants to play it for their kids, all you got to do is hit play, and it is the entire, I guess it's a poem story
Yeah.
of
And
"'Twas the Night
it's
Before Christmas" with
our
curiosity.
Christmas gift to all of our audience here and everyone that we've had the opportunity to work with through the year and get to know. And I just think it's really great.
Thank you. And it was so much fun to write and so much fun to do. There is one picture that accompanies it with curiosity and encouragement, putting a little angel on the top of the tree.
Yeah.
And I just hope that you guys get a chance to hear it and enjoy it.
Yes. I encourage everybody to take a look at it and to share it with their family.
Absolutely. Well, Susan, we've come to the end of another episode of Shine with Curiosity and Encouragement. To everybody out there, thank you for spending your Sunday evening with us. And Merry Christmas to all.
And to all a good night.
Take care, everybody.
Good night.
Ever dreamed of seeing your name on the cover of a book? As a book publisher, we understand the challenges of self-publishing. If you're lost in the process, wondering about illustrators, book coaches, or formatting issues, worry not. At Soul Sunshine, we're here to guide you. Let's turn your dream into reality.